Welcome to Civil Engineering Infrastructure, a knowledge series for engineers, builders, and future leaders. This is your one-stop destination for learning, understanding, and mastering the world of civil engineering, infrastructure, and concession agreements. Here, we decode real-world projects, government contracts, and the hybrid annuity model step by step, so that every engineer can truly understand how the future is built. If you are finding this helpful, don't forget to subscribe and stay connected with Civil Engineering Infrastructure, where we decode real-world contracts and engineering clarity. Welcome to Part 4 of the Civil Engineering Infrastructure series. In this part, we begin our journey into the Concession Agreement Article 1 Definitions and Interpretation. This is where legal clarity meets engineering precision. Every term, every clause, and every definition forms the legal backbone of the project. From authority to appointed date, from court to termination payment and force majeure. Each of these words defines how the entire project will operate. It's not just paperwork, it's the framework that connects law, design, and execution. Previously, on the Civil Engineering Infrastructure series, we explored the project scope and functional requirements, covering Schedules B, C, and D. We understood how toll plazas, safety measures, and performance standards define real-world project delivery. And now, we move ahead from project performance to project definition. Welcome to Article 1, Definitions and Interpretation. Article 1, Definitions and Interpretation. Every project begins on paper long before it reaches the construction site. Before any machine starts, the concession agreement clearly defines three things: who will do what, how it will be done, and under which standards. Article 1 gives structure, meaning, and consistency to every clause that follows, ensuring that law and engineering work in perfect harmony. If you are finding this series useful, don't forget to subscribe to Civil Engineering Infrastructure, your knowledge partner for real-world engineering. Why Article 1 matters? The strength of your project is built on the clarity of its language. Article 1 acts as the project's shield, protecting it from ambiguity, confusion, and misinterpretation. It aligns expectations and responsibilities between every stakeholder, ensuring everyone works on the same understanding. It defines scope, establishes order, and brings precision to communication. Simply put, Article 1 is your project's cornerstone, the foundation of mutual understanding and lasting success. Core definitions. Every concession agreement begins with clarity about the people, the process, and the purpose. Let's start with the key parties. The employer, the government authority or private company that owns the project. The concessionaire, the engineering or construction firm entrusted to design, build, and operate it. And the independent engineer, a neutral professional ensuring every standard is followed with precision. Now, the crucial concepts. The concession agreement, a legally binding document that defines rights, duties, and obligations. The concession period, the duration during which the concessionaire operates and maintains the facility. And financial close, the moment when every funding arrangement is secured, marking the real beginning of project execution. Together, these terms set the foundation for every action that follows in the life of a project. You are watching Civil Engineering Infrastructure, where engineering knowledge meets real project experience. Subscribe now and stay updated as we decode the concession agreement step by step. Project-specific definitions. Every project lives in two worlds, one on paper and the other on site. Under project-specific definitions, the agreement explains what happens in both the project site, the exact location where the design turns into reality, the scope of work, every milestone, deliverable, and activity the concessionaire must complete, and drawings, the engineering blueprints that convert legal language into construction details. On the technical side, standards define the codes and best practices that every activity must follow. Approvals ensure all regulatory permissions are in place before work begins. And safety requirements protect every worker, every structure, and every life on site. These definitions ensure that the project isn't just compliant, it's consistent, safe, and engineered for excellence. Legal and technical terms. In every concession agreement, there are terms that carry both legal power and technical precision. Let's decode them one by one. Specification: detailed requirements that set the benchmark for materials, workmanship, and quality. COD or commercial operation date: the official day the project opens to the public. Termination: the formal ending of a contract before completion, triggered by default or mutual consent. LDs or liquidated damages: the pre-agreed penalties for delays or performance failures. On the technical side, EPC stands for engineering, procurement, and construction, the contract that drives the design to delivery process. Variation: any approved change to the project's original scope. And force majeure: unforeseeable events like natural disasters or political unrest that release both parties from their obligations. These terms form the legal backbone of any infrastructure project, ensuring that performance, accountability, and risk are clearly defined. You are watching Civil Engineering Infrastructure, where we bridge legal frameworks and real-world construction. Subscribe and ring the bell to stay ahead with the next part of this professional learning series. Measurements and arithmetic convention. In engineering, precision isn't optional, it's essential. Under measurements and arithmetic conventions, the concession agreement defines how accuracy is maintained across every document and drawing. Units of measurement: the standard set of C units that ensure uniformity from design to execution. Rounding rules: specific guidelines for rounding off values, keeping calculations consistent and transparent. Consistency: ensuring that every measurement in every report, drawing, and bill follows the same convention. Because in construction, even a single millimeter can decide between precision and error, and the agreement makes sure that precision always wins. Rules of interpretation. Every concession agreement comes with a rulebook on how it should be read. These are called rules of interpretation. 1. Harmonious interpretation. Every clause is read together so that the contract remains balanced and consistent. 2. Specific over general. When a specific clause conflicts with a general one, the specific always prevails. 3. Consistent meanings. Terms used once carry the same meaning throughout the entire agreement. 4. Headings are only guides. The titles are for reference. The real meaning lies in the actual text. These rules ensure that the agreement speaks one language, free of confusion, uniform in intent, and clear in execution. Order of precedence. Every concession agreement contains multiple layers of documents. But what happens when two documents don't agree? That's where the order of precedence comes in. At the top stands the concession agreement, the main body of law that governs every clause and decision. Next are the schedules. They support the agreement with detailed terms, financials, and obligations. Below them are the drawings and technical documents, turning words into design and measurable reality. And finally, This hierarchy defines which document prevails in case of any conflict. The principle is simple: clarity through structure and structure through order. Key takeaways. Let's recap the essence of Article 1, Definitions and Interpretation. Article 1 lays the ground rules, defining every term, every limit, and every responsibility. Clear definitions create strong foundations, because when language is precise, execution is flawless. It bridges engineering and legal understanding, ensuring that both worlds, design and documentation, speak the same language. And finally, precision in words leads to precision in work. Because in infrastructure, clarity isn't just communication, it's construction. You are watching Civil Engineering Infrastructure series, breaking down real-world contracts into engineering clarity. Subscribe now so you don't miss Part 05, Article 2, Scope of the project. Next series preview. As we close Article 1, the foundation of understanding, it's time to move toward Article 2, Scope of the project. This next part answers the most practical question. What exactly must the concessionaire build? We'll explore construction, operation, and maintenance obligations, define the boundaries of work under the hybrid annuity model, and learn where scope disputes usually begin and how to avoid them. Because every line in the contract becomes a responsibility on site. Understand the scope clearly. Avoid claims, delays, and disputes. Subscribe and bell. You've just explored Article 1, Definitions and Interpretation, the foundation where every project begins, with clarity and purpose. If you are passionate about learning how real infrastructure projects work, and want to master the concession agreement from start to finish, then don't miss what's coming next. Subscribe now. Hit the bell icon and turn on notifications so you never miss the next part of the series. Article 2, Scope of the project. Because here at Civil Engineering Infrastructure, we don't just study engineering, we build understanding.